Streaming now at 5:30, Coach Comeback. A shockwave in Baton Rouge sports. Former Tigers coach Will Wade coming back to LSU. What we just learned about his deal that has college basketball talking. Tiger power play, LSU making another new hire, and he knows Will Wade well. How that relationship could shape Tiger athletics. Plus, Tigers in the majors, several former LSU baseball players on opening day rosters. From a Cy Young winner to a new Cub, how LSU's impact on baseball just got bigger. A shutdown showdown in Washington. Airport security lines are growing longer as TSA workers continue to go without pay. The major change the president is pushing tonight in the Senate. Gas break. The White House waives clean air rules to fight soaring prices. When it's expected to start and what that means for the fuel you're pumping. Playground with Heart. How a high school scout raised $20,000 to create a musical haven for kids like his brother with special needs. And pattern shift, warmer temperatures today. Jeff Morrow standing by with why your weekend may feel a little different.
You're watching WAFB's streaming newscast, live and local, with Dion Guillory. This is 9 News at 5:30.
Good evening and thank you for joining us here at 5:30. I'm Dion Guillory. We start streaming tonight with a major story in college basketball, and LSU was taking center court. Current NC State head coach and former LSU coach Will Wade is returning to Baton Rouge on a 7-year deal. Wade led the Tigers from 2017 to 2022 before he was fired. He now returns to replace Matt McMahon, who was hired from Murray State in 2022. McMahon did not make an NCAA tournament appearance during his time at LSU, and sources say he was given a termination letter. Now, according to the terms of Will Wade's agreement, he is guaranteed to make at least $4 million in his first year. There are incentives as well in his agreement, depending on just how well the team does. Our 9 Sports team is continuing to follow this developing story, and we'll have much more coming up later at 6. Another big hire for the Tigers, McNeese State University confirming Heath Schroyer, director of athletics since 2020, has accepted a job at LSU as senior deputy athletic director. Now, before moving to North Carolina, Will Wade coached McNeese State University, where he worked with Schroyer. And it's believed Schroyer being familiar with Wade is a primary motivator in this hire, and also in Will Wade's contract agreement that he is going to report to his former co-worker. So we'll get into that later at 6 o'clock. Now, the LSU women's they play in the Sweet 16 round of the tournament against Duke. That's in Sacramento. This is the second time the Tigers will face Duke this season. They beat them back in December. The team just wrapped up a news conference over on the West Coast. And as always, we will bring you live coverage with our 9 Sports director, Jacques Doucet. That's coming up at 6 o'clock. Well, it is opening day for Major League Baseball, and 11 former LSU Tigers are on opening day rosters this season. The list includes Cy Young winner Paul Skeens with the Pirates, Alex Bregman now with the Cubs, Aaron Nola with the Phillies, Kevin Gausman with the Blue Jays, and Josh Smith with the Rangers. Now, LSU has now produced 91 major leaguers and has had at least one former Tiger make his big league debut in 31 of the past 35 seasons. Baseball fans are already buying trading cards of their favorite players. Whether they're rookies or classic collectibles, trading cards have exploded in recent years. People are shelling out big bucks for everything from cards featuring their favorite baseball player to Pokemon characters. But as the hobby grows in popularity, so does the threat of fraud and theft. Josie Sturman shows us the thieves pulling out all the stops to swindle collectors.
It's not often you get a collection of legends all in one room. We're talking heavy hitters here, the kind where only one name is needed to know exactly who we're talking about. Ohtani, Kobe, Mahomes, Megan Charizard?
This is a Pokemon card that I've actually been chasing for a little while.
Collectors on the hunt, chasing classic cards. But this hobby isn't what it was when I was a kid, when my big brother spent hours ripping open foil packs trying to find the rookie card for his favorite baseballer. Make no mistake, trading card collectors still love their sports heroes. But the quest now is also for the love of a different game, tracking down characters from fantasy worlds like Magic the Gathering and Pokemon.
We've got Snorlax page, Slowpoke,
Gengar,
And more
Gengar.
I don't know what my favorite would probably be besides the Cold Foil Heart. Probably my 151 slabs.
With card collecting, there are no rules, only unique passions.
I am starting, funnily, a butt binder with all their little cute little butts, you know? There's so many different options. There's something for everybody.
It's like his tongue. Like his tongue is cool, and like the spikes all around his body.
It's just something, you get attached to them, you know, they become a little bit of a part of you. Or they're pieces of art, they're collectibles, they're things that people cherish and nostalgia and all that stuff.
But collector Chris Gibson knows these cards also have the potential to be something more, a way to make cold, hard cash.
When I first started, I was just collecting them because I was like, these are cool cards, I just want to have them. And then all of a sudden they went like 10x up in price. So I bought a card for $200, all of a sudden a year later it's like over $2,000 for that card.
Card collecting has exploded as a hobby and become a major moneymaker. At Collecticon in Miami, we watched high-dollar deals happen on cards worth thousands of dollars.
The first time I held like a $10,000 card, I was like shaking and nervous and freaking out. I was like, oh my God, this is so crazy. Now someone hands me a $10,000 card and I'm like, oh, okay. It's just a Tuesday.
The sticker shock that nearly knocked me to the convention floor is normal to Richard Smith. He's an authenticator with Premier Card Grading, a global company that examines trading cards of all kinds to give them a grade for their condition. That, along with the card's rarity, helps determine its value. His job? Appraising cardboard, sussing out whether what's been submitted is worth the paper it was printed on.
You can tell that exact same thing when you've held thousands and thousands of cards. You can tell sometimes when the texture is just off. And you're like, oh, that is not real. And then when you drop in the microscope, you can look at like the print dots and then like where the inking is, and you can see, oh, yep, this is where the cardboard's off, your ink is off here. And the unfortunate thing is as these cards get more and more expensive, you're just gonna see more and more fakes that come out.
And our national investigative team found those fakes can be big business because, as we've discovered, more interest in trading cards means more fraud, with massive cases popping up nationwide. In January, 2 Washington men were convicted in a multi-million-dollar scheme that defrauded customers across the country. Court records say the pair spent years misrepresenting the grades of sports and Pokemon trading cards, selling them online and at auctions for hundreds of thousands of dollars when they were actually worth just a small fraction of that. The feds have brought other high-profile cases too, taking down card fraudsters in Colorado, Illinois, and Nebraska, where one counterfeiter sold supposedly rare Mickey Mantle and Joe Namath cards for more than $100,000. Turns out they were worth less than $10 a piece.
There's nothing more frustrating to me when I see someone that has spent however many hours working at McDonald's, JCPenney's, their day job being a tax accountant, whatever they're doing, and all that money they spent on that precious grail, it was literally worthless because someone was an absolute jerk.
And it's not just fraud. With the rise in trading card popularity and value, our team discovered theft has become a massive problem. Smash and grab robbers, armed thieves, and brazen shoplifters have been caught on camera, stealing thousands of dollars worth of collectible cards from local shops coast to coast.
The whole front door was completely shattered in. There's glass all over the place.
Feel violated.
They had stolen the whole rack of Pokemon cards and jumped into their car.
And thankfully this community is very tight, so whenever someone does get robbed or stolen from, basically everyone is like, okay, this is what's missing, this is where it is, this is what it looked like. I have photos of it, this is where the dent on the box is. Like anything that's expensive or isolated or special, it's very, very difficult to move.
One company, Tiffany Cards, is even publicizing thefts and fakes online, making sure collectors know the real. Our team analyzed the company's unofficial database, finding more than 300 cards stolen since the start of 2020 that have been added to the site. Many were reportedly taken from stores or homes, dozens more allegedly yanked right out of the mail. Federal cases our team reviewed detail multi-state crime rings as well as theft from inside the postal system itself. even trade shows are vulnerable. More than 100 high-value baseball cards were pocketed at just one Dallas event in 2024. Thieves sending $2 million worth of sports history into the wind.
I do hope that karma one day comes and bites them in the rear.
Until then, card buyers, sellers, and traders will play on, gambling with every new pack, enjoying the mystery that comes along with the hunt for that personal holy grail. When they find it, don't laugh if they tell you they spent $2 grand on a piece of cardboard. Mega Charizard could be their retirement plan. Or maybe it's just a piece of magic worth holding on to.
If this someday is worth a lot of money, what would you do with it?
I would cherish it forever.
Josie, we know fakes are a big problem, but let's talk more about stolen cards. Your team looked at an unofficial online database tracking them. What did you find out?
Well, Dion, what we found out was that there have been at least 300 cards listed by just this one company since 2020. That's a huge number to have from this unofficial database. As you mentioned, it's not an official tracker by any means. It's not the feds. It's not states looking at them. It's just a company that is concerned about how many of these fake and stolen cards are out there in the marketplace, trying to bring people into awareness about it. And the other thing that's interesting to know from that database is many of them were snatched right out of the mail and may have involved postal employees themselves, according to the people who reported them stolen.
That just blows my mind. The other question here is, like, let's talk about the growth and popularity here. So what's fueling that, and how much are people really paying for these cards?
They are paying a huge amount of money. We went to Collecticon in Florida about a month ago, and it was not an uncommon sight to see cards worth tens of thousands of dollars and people paying cash for them on site. So there's a huge amount of popularity right now, not just for Pokemon or Magic the Gathering, but sports cards as well. People have that sense of nostalgia with a lot of these cards. They want to bring them back. They had them as kids. There was something special about them, something intangible, and they want to feel that feeling again that they had when they were a kid. So they're willing to pay for that, and there are a lot of cards out there that were not available, that are not widely available, that are not highly graded. So the rarity of those cards is making them have a lot of interest. People are willing to pay a lot of money for them, Dion.
Lots of interesting topics there, and bringing this to the forefront to let all of our viewers know that this is happening. Josie, thank you for that information. And also, if you want to see more from our investigation, including video from some of the shocking robberies happening at shops across the country, go to investigatetv.com and search Wildcard. Let's get to your weather picture now. Picture perfect day with highs climbing into the upper 80s, but how long would this warm stretch last? Jeff Morrow standing by with your first alert forecast. Jeff.
Potential for dense fog is going to be in place across the local area for tomorrow morning, so keep that in mind. Give yourself an extra minute or two out the door. Also, don't forget to watch out for kiddos at area school bus stops and use those low beam headlights. But the key points here, dense fog pockets. So we're not expecting widespread dense fog. Average visibility 1 to 3 miles. So again, just a couple of extra minutes maybe out the door. 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. That's the time frame where fog will be most prevalent and possibly at its thickest. And it's going to be for tomorrow. We're going to end the fog threat once we get past tomorrow, because a cold front's going to be working through the area Friday night. So yeah, a little bit extra time for the school day forecast for tomorrow. Otherwise, sunglasses and short sleeves, and if they've got after school activities, may want the water to stay hydrated as well, because it is going to be another warm day. Temperatures in the low 60s for the morning start, and then as we get towards the afternoon, we're going to see those highs once again in the mid 80s under partly cloudy skies. But we will see a weather pattern change into the weekend. I'll have more details on that coming up in just a few minutes. Dion?
All right, Jeff, thanks. In other news tonight, President Trump is urging Republicans move forward with a bill to fund the Department of Homeland Security without Democrats and get airport security lines moving again. The push comes as travelers continue to face hours-long wait times at major airports, including in New Orleans, triggered by TSA officers not getting paid because of the partial government shutdown. Shauna Mizell reports.
Travelers at major airports captured fresh headaches on their phones as security lines snaked through terminals.
We're so apprehensive. We don't want to miss a flight.
Wait times at George Bush Intercontinental Airport in Houston are regularly exceeding 4 hours, with only a third of screening lanes operational.
We came 5 hours before just to be on time.
On Wednesday alone, almost 40% of the TSA staff in Houston who aren't getting paid failed to show up for work.
It's pretty much a disaster, especially financially.
Many, like Greg Jones, are bracing for a second missed paycheck Friday if Congress doesn't reach a deal.
We're political pawn pieces or something. It feels like all of our lives are being messed with.
Houston airport officials are expecting even more passenger traffic through Friday with big events in town. They are warning travelers to give themselves extra time and remain flexible.
I understand, why it's taking so long because they're not getting paid, so I'm not going to work for free. I don't expect them to.
During a cabinet meeting Thursday, President Trump once again blamed Democrats for the stalemate and called on Senate Republicans to terminate the filibuster.
They need to end the shutdown immediately or we'll have to take some very drastic measures.
Senate Republicans say they've sent a last and final offer to Democrats.
We're not going to be able to get DHS open with Democratic votes.
Democrats have been pushing for more reforms to ICE to agree to a deal. Shauna Mizell, CBS News, Houston.
And a reminder for you tonight, the Baton Rouge Airport is still doing its part to support TSA agents working without pay. Until the government shutdown ends, BTR is accepting non-perishable food and other items like diapers and hygiene products for those workers. You can drop them off on the first or second floor of the airport at donation bins like this one. The Trump administration is waiving summer anti-smog rules to combat rising gas prices. This will allow refineries and retailers to sell gasoline made with 10 and 15% ethanol starting in May. The average price of a gallon of unleaded regular gasoline hit $3.98 on Wednesday. That's up more than $1 from a month ago. It's about $2.58 here, $3.58 here rather. Worldwide fuel prices have spiked since the U.S. and Israel started that conflict with Iran nearly 4 weeks ago. Bad news for snail mail. Gas price spikes have prompted the U.S. Postal Service to raise fees by 8% for some services. Higher prices will take effect from April 26 through mid-January of 2027 for priority mail, ground advantage, and parcel select services, though first-class stamps are not affected. The move is subject to approval from the Postal Regulatory Commission. We're back in 2 minutes.